This is the Sports Dynasty Podcast. I'm Trevor, and this is Juan. Before we get started, make sure you like, share, subscribe. We're on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play Radio, Stitcher Play Radio, at Podcast Dynasty on Twitter. We're on Facebook and Instagram. Check out the Sports Dynasty Podcast Facebook group. It is growing. Be part of the conversation. That being said, we're going to continue our coverage of the guide for 2021 NFL with the AFC North. How you doing today?
I'm all right. Division number 6.
Yes, it's been a very, very long process, but we're almost there.
We are almost there.
That being said, we're going to start off with the Cincinnati Bengals. They finished 4-11-1. They had their quarterback on the one pick last season, Joe Burrow, showed some signs of greatness. Some really good things right there. Then he tore his ACL and
other things.
And other things.
Yeah, the entire knee got destroyed.
Yes, and and they went 4-11-1, the one tied to the Philadelphia Eagles, and
yeah, they were 29th in offense, as you probably figured. 27 passing, 24th in rushing. Defense, they were 22nd, 19th in passing, 29th in rushing. The 29 makes sense. The 19th in passing is interesting. Very interesting, to say the least.
I don't Ryan Finley, and it's quarterback. That's pretty weird. I know.
We had another one, too. I know 2 quarterbacks played.
I forgot the other guy. I remember one of them, but anyway. The key additions for the Cincinnati Bengals, they have acquired Riley Reef, Trey Hendrickson, Larry Ogunjobi, Chidobe Awuzie, Mike Hilton, and Ricardo Allen. The departures included Ryan Finley, Giovanni Bernard, AJ Green, John Ross, Bobby Hart, Carl Lawson, Geno Atkins, Christian Covington, William Jackson, Mackenzie Alexander, and Randy Bullock.
There's a few big losses there. A few. I might give them a C+ for their offseason, by the way.
Right.
Yeah.
This is a Bengals draft. They selected Jamar Chase, wide receiver from LSU, Jackson Carman, the offensive tackle from Clemson, Joseph Osai, the defensive end from Texas, Cameron Sample, the defensive end from Tulane, Tyler Shevin, the nose tackle from LSU, Dante Smith, the offensive tackle from East Carolina, Evan McPherson, the kicker from Florida, Trey Hill, the center from Georgia, Chris Evans, the running back from Michigan, and Wyatt Hubert, the defensive end from Kansas State. Now, we're probably wondering why we were all thinking in most of our mock drafts that they'll pick Penei Sewell for the offensive line to help Joe Burrow, not have injuries like he did last year. But they went with the receiver, which is, don't hate it, but I mean, they didn't need a receiver anyway. But I think the biggest need they could have used was an offensive line. But they did pick up some offensive line help with Dante Smith and the nose tackle Tyler Shelvin from LSU, his teammate, or Joe Burrow's teammate when he was there. So I think you give them a little bit comfortability, a little bit there, but they did get some help. But I think the number 1 pick should have been the best offensive lineman in the draft. But overall, I gave the draft a B.
Yeah, they still plugging holes no matter what.
Yeah.
Right. So, just want to mention, I don't think there's any player left in the Marvin Lewis regime. I think they might all be gone now that Giovanni and AJ Green, and they cut Atkins, if I'm not mistaken, and all those guys are gone. So I think this is a Marvin Lewis-less roster. Not one person left. Finally gone.
That's incredible.
Yeah, finally gone. Took a while too.
Yeah.
Finally gone. So this draft, I feel like, has to hit for them to define what they're gonna be. They got a lot of players here, like over 10. So these players have to really define it. They got some people that have a chance, like Jamar Chase, have a chance to be a top receiver. Not from what we're hearing, or as of right now, in training camp, he's garbage. But we'll see what happens if it translates to actual football. I got 2 offensive linemen, 3 defensive linemen. I'm sorry, 3 offensive linemen, another center. They got a lot of pieces here. 4 offensive linemen, a running back. They really replaced what they lost, hence why they have a decent grade when it comes to the offseason grade. at the end of the day, they do have a head coach who's unproven and would be nice and say not really turning heads. Zach Taylor, right? His name, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens there. It's all about Burrow, making sure Burrow takes that next step into stardom, which I hope he does. So that's what this has to be about, because the defense is going on this interesting type of rebuild where all those veterans are gone, so it's pretty young. William Jackson's not there anymore. You know what I mean? They do have Bates there, so that's good. That's a top safety. You know, so they have some talent there, but it's all about the O, and it's all about the O line. And I keep saying, like, people talking about Joe Burrow protection. What about Joe Mixon's protection? Protect that guy. Like, that's who needs to get protection. He's the runner, but he's the one that gotta take all the hits. He's the one that gotta be trying to run between those tackles that you call offensive linemen. Like, dude, like, protect Joe Mixon. Come on. Save him. Jesus Christ. So, we're all about the offensive line here. That's what I'm looking at, because the receiving core is good. I thought it was good before they got Jamar Chase, but they just found the need to have to get him for some reason. We'll see. And again, from what we hear in training camp, their continuity between Burrow and Jamar Chase ain't there. So, I don't know. But that line has to be successful for this team to be successful. It's just literally that simple. If they're not good, then I don't know how they're going to score many points. Like, they found ways to score sometimes last year, but it shouldn't be this hard. But it is the Bengals we're talking about. So
it's a work in progress.
It's definitely a work in progress. But I really think that Burrow is going to show some franchise quarterback status this year. So their ceiling to me is 7 and 10. I'm going to give him 7 to 10 ceiling. Just because I think he's going to be that good. Regardless of how bad the line is or not, he will be fine. I mean, if the offensive line is tragically bad, then he's not, obviously. But I think they're going to be good enough for him to show that there's a reason why he was drafted number 1. There was a reason why he had that historic college season. 7 and 10, which is a plus.
Yeah, 6 and 11. I mean, it's better than it was before, but 6 and 11.
Yeah,
so it couldn't be that bad.
Yeah, Cleveland.
The Cleveland Browns finished 11 and 5, made their first playoff appearance for the first time since 2002. They won a playoff game. They beat the living hell out of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we loved every minute of it. I thought it was amazing.
It was hilarious.
I love every minute of it. They went 11 and 5. They made it to the divisional round and lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. Barely. But the defense was so bad that even despite Patrick Mahomes not playing in the fourth quarter, Chad Henne, I call him Hennessy, who cares? Chad Henne had his way with that Chiefs defense. That secondary was dreadful, and hence why they lost the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty sad. Wide open Tyreek Hill, I believe, for that 4th down conversion.
Yep.
And he also ran for a conversion too. Chad Henne.
Yeah, he carved them up real good.
Yeah. They're 14th on offense, 24th in passing, which makes sense, and 3rd in rushing, which also makes sense.
Yes, you had damn near 2 1,000-yard rushes.
Yeah. 21st in defense, 22nd in passing, and 9th in rushing. Again, when you don't really have to run the ball, of course you're gonna have a high one. I gave them an A or A minus. A minus for their offseason.
Mm-hmm. Their key additions to the Cleveland Browns included former number 1 overall pick Jadeveon Clowney, Tack McKinley, Malik Jackson, Anthony Walker, Troy Hill, and John Johnson, the safety. Their departures included Olivier Vernon, Adrian Claiborne, Sheldon Richardson, Larry Agonjobi, B.J. Goodson, Terrence Marshall, Kevin Johnson, Carl Joseph, and Andre Sendejo. The draft. They 26th overall pick. They selected Greg Newsome, the cornerback from Northwestern, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, the linebacker from Notre Dame,
which I hear is doing some good things in training camp so far.
Anthony Schwartz, the wide receiver from Auburn, James Hudson, the offensive tackle from Cincinnati, Tommy Togali, the defensive tackle from Ohio State, Tony Fields, the linebacker from West Virginia, Richard LeConte, the safety from Georgia, and Demetric Felton, the running back wide receiver from UCLA. I give the draft an A. Greg Newsome, was available in the first round, was definitely a plus for them, this cornerback. I thought that Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah would have been their first pick, and I had them on my mock draft. They ended up getting him in the second round, which is amazing. Still from them.
Crazy value, yeah.
Very crazy value for them. They addressed it. They addressed the offensive tackle. They added more depth to wide receiver. I like Anthony Short's pretty good. Just all around, they filled every hole they needed and added depth to our already Super Bowl ready team. So I gave this an A. This was a wonderful draft.
Their secondary is full of injuries last year. Like almost everyone basically spent a little while in the hospital, including their second round pick last year, safety and Grant Delpit. So now they're getting all those guys back. Plus they added a lot of depth and a lot of players into that secondary. Troy Hill, John Johnson. They drafted Greg Newsome. Like they also did not draft someone else. They drafted safety. Like yeah. There's a lot of bodies in that defensive backfield now. Again, we heard from training camp that Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah is kicking ass. And if he's kicking ass and that translates to real football, yeah, they have no hole.
Yeah, the Browns are looking really scary, actually.
They have no hole. They already have the best line in football. They already have a competent receiving core. Baker's good. They have the best running back tandem already. And two of them are two of the best backs in the NFL, which is a little broken. No, they have no hole if their linebacking core is fixed.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm like staring right at the camera. Their roster is no holes. It's like Tampa Bay good. Like it's ridiculous. So they just have to be able to put it all together. Yes. That's their biggest thing. Mayfield is basically on a contract year basically now. Like it's time to put up or shut up, which I always never understood why he never get the benefit of the doubt for the 2019 season.
Yeah, Freddie Kitchens was completely terrible.
Yes, his coach was Freddie Kitchens. What the hell was he supposed to do with that?
And then before that, he had one of the worst coaches in history. And
I feel like he had like 28 coaches. Now realistically, he had Hugh Jackson and he had Greg Williams.
Jackson, yeah,
that's his two coaches, but like went through a lot of turnover, and he actually played well his rookie season. Like people like to talk about Josh Allen, like he does that dirt. Like, dude, Josh Allen sucked for 2 years and it was a beast 1 year. But Baker's been good for 2 out of his 3 seasons. Why does he get no like? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't get it.
I think because he's the number. I think because he's the number 1 overall pick. So it's like, all right, you're supposed to be good anyway. You're supposed to be.
He's supposed to be good in Cleveland.
No, I'm talking about no.
No, I'm telling them.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but they're probably saying that yo, this is what you're supposed to do. This is what you get paid to do. You're the number 1 pick. So in the eyes of the masses,
of the dumbasses,
I'm just cleaning it up a little bit. They're saying that
you don't clean them supposed to. You say what's up.
You true. I'm saying that in the eyes of the masses, dumbasses. Yeah, I get it. You got that for me too. He's the best player in college football. He was, and that's why he doesn't get a pass. Is it fair? No, it's stupid. But
yeah, what does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, but.
He's best college football. It's not college football in the NFL, and he went to the Cleveland Browns. Did you not? What Cleveland Browns team did he get drafted to?
The 0-16 Cleveland.
Okay, then. So then, what does that have to do with anything?
No, but the thing that they wanted you to make an immediate impact, which he did.
He did. They won 7 games.
He won 6 games. He won 6 games because
true.
Because they counted for Tyrod Taylor. He won 6 games. Then they won 8. No. They won 6 games. Then he won 7, and then they won 11. So he's improved every single year. So it's like I don't understand why he doesn't get the benefit of the doubt like Josh Allen does. Josh Allen's amazing, he is. But Baker Mayfield's no slouch either. He's improving. Yeah. So.
And Lamar couldn't throw the ball his first year. He was MVP the second year, and he was not good last year either. But he's gonna get an extension soon. It's like
he will get an extension.
He's gonna get it.
So Baker.
So why Baker's not getting an extension? Why he has to wait?
Oh, he will. They'll give it to him.
I don't understand the hate. It makes no damn sense.
They won a playoff game last year, so that should have been enough.
Yeah, Lamar it took 3 years.
So
Baker took 1, and it took a team that won 12 games too.
My only not even concern. I just want to see how Odell Beckham comes back and is able to gel.
Definitely.
I think that's like the main concern. If he's able to gel and he's able to buy in, because remember he wanted to leave. He wanted to leave Cleveland because of everything was going on. Which I don't blame him because everything was going on was crazy over there. But now that they're gelling now and they're literally a Super Bowl contender in the AFC. Who would have thought we'd be saying this in our lifetimes? The Cleveland Browns are a Super Bowl contender.
Yep.
I never thought it would happen, but it did. So we're gonna see how that works as well. For me, I know we're getting ahead of ourselves, but I say 11-6, 12-5.
No, that's not a ahead. I'm gonna go to that now. 12, because what else is there to say?
Yeah, 12-6, 12-5.
12-5 to me is my ceiling for them too.
Yeah,
a top team in the AFC. Just do as you're advertised. You're advertised to be one of the top 3 or 4 teams in the AFC. Just do that. How you do that? Use your roster. Your strength is running game, right? Play action. You got Odell. You got Jarvis Landry. I'm saying, like, you got Njoku. Like, you got so many damn pieces. Austin Hooper, the best line in football. That's it. Defense, all you gotta do is do your job. No pun intended to that team. But just do what you got. Yeah, like you got Myles Garrett. You have a crazy secondary. Like, all you got to do is put it together. And you got a good coach. Stefanski is a great coach.
Well,
yeah, you know, the reigning coach of the year, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, you got it. You know, he somehow won a playoff game without being there.
That's just how you are.
Yeah. Baltimore.
The Baltimore Ravens finished the season 11-5 as well. They advanced to the divisional round and got their asses whipped by the Buffalo Bills. And part of me was really happy with that. I'm not going to lie with you.
Obviously, me too.
I wasn't surprised, and I'm glad it happened. It showed that, you know, well, especially last year, that they had a lot of issues that yet the media wanted to glare over and talk about, oh no, this is look at Lamar Jackson. He finally got over the hump. He finally beat, which almost lost, by the way. So almost lost, but that's neither here nor there. But if the Titans were in the Titans and completely implode, they lost that game too.
Yeah, Mike Vrabel did not coach a good game that game.
Oh, it was awful. He was awful. We spoke about that in an episode before. He was awful. But yeah. So they went 11-5 and lost, and they've trying to retool to kind of get back there and be on top of the AFC North.
They were 7th overall on offense somehow. You can probably guess the stats of where they ranked in each. Obviously, they were first in rushing.
Obviously. But they were dead last in passing.
Of course they were.
Dead last. The New York Jets, who had better passing attack than they did.
According to stupid stats, yes.
According to stupid stats, which, if you watch it, you're like, there's no way. But I'm like, oh yeah, they found a way.
Yeah,
the Jets,
exactly.
The worst team in football, happened to be better at passing the football than the Ravens were.
Yeah. And that's why we don't really use sanctific data that much.
Yeah.
They were 2nd on defense, 6th in passing, 8th in rushing. This defense was the reason why they did a lot of things in the playoffs.
Correct.
So I think they single-handedly beat Tennessee.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Key additions.
C+ grade for their offseason. That's cool.
Key additions included Sammy Watkins, Josh Oliver, Alejandro Villanueva, Jawan James, Kevin Zeitler, and Michael Schofield.
From what I heard, they suck. The offensive linemen that they acquired so far.
Alejandro Villanueva and
Kevin Zeitler. I heard they suck in camp so far.
Departures included Mark Ingram, Willie Snead, Orlando Brown, DJ Fluker, Matt Oscura, Jihad Ward, Yannick Ngakwe.
Damn, you never heard these names?
I heard a name before. I just can't put the words in, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. And Matthew Judon, who was playing amazing with the New England Patriots now.
And Orlando Brown, you didn't say that. I don't know if you said that.
Yeah, I said Orlando Brown, yeah. Orlando Brown created to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, because he thought he's worth more than he was, which he's not, but whatever. Draft.
Rashad Bateman, wide receiver from Minnesota. Jason Owe, the defensive end from Penn State. Ben Cleveland, the guard from Cleveland. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Ben Stevens, the cornerback from SNU. Tylan Wallace, the wide receiver from Oklahoma State. Sean Wade, the cornerback from Ohio State. Dalen Hayes, the defensive end from Notre Dame. And Ben Mason, the fullback from Michigan. I gave that draft a B because I think they ended up getting Jason Owe, which I thought he'll be the first pick before they traded. They traded in draft night. But I don't have a problem with the Jason Owe pick at 31, but Rashad Bateman, a wide receiver, you could have got him later. I think you could have got him a little bit later. This doesn't help their wide receiving core at all, honestly speaking. I don't think he'll make much of a difference.
Save that. That's interesting take.
I don't expect them to make that makes much of a difference anyway. They did get Tylan Wallace from Oklahoma State as well. at the 131st pick. But I'm like, Rashad Bateman.
He said 131st Street.
Yeah, I did. Damn.
That's New York.
That's the New York in me, man.
What is even in 131st Street?
In Harlem. There is no 131st Street in the Bronx. So
I know it's not.
Yes.
That's why I'm confused.
Crackheads. That's over there.
Oh my god.
Anyway, here's the point. But yeah,
hilarious.
I don't see the difference. I see. I mean, obviously they went from fullback. They went fullback with the last pick on that 84. That's what they want to do. A lot of blocking, so they can run the ball a lot. But overall, I don't see you made any difference with the receiving core. I think it'll still be the same. I give it a B.
I say that. Hold on. That's a very interesting take. I can't wait to hear about this when we get in track success. So as much as I've destroyed that quarterback for the last 2 seasons now in the show and whatever,
Lamar.
Yeah. This last year was just messed up for them. In all honesty, it really was.
Yeah.
Their line was destroyed all year long. Like they had like 4 centers playing at one point. They lost Ronnie Stanley like halfway through the season. Like, and they never were able to replace Marciano because he retired suddenly. So they didn't have a chance to really fix the line much. And plus, they lost their best lineman. So they definitely get a break there. Receiving core wise, Marquise Brown is not good.
No,
as you can plainly see, he's not a good receiver. At least not for number 1. He's a good probably 3rd. Like he's not. No. I don't even know who else they had. Snead. No, maybe that's the year before that.
No, I don't know.
That's the point. I don't even know who the second receiver is last year in 2020. Yeah, so as much as I make fun of Lamar not being able to throw, who the hell was he throwing to?
Wasn't Des Bryant there last year?
Yeah, exactly. That's how you know they needed receiving help.
Yeah.
And tight ends, somebody got hurt. I think their second stringer got hurt. Mark Andrews never. He was there. So they had to get the blocking tight end to play actual routes and stuff. Like that's how bad it was bad last year. So there's excuses there, but then there's not because he still wasn't good regardless. There's a difference between sucking because you're supporting cast and sucking because you suck, and it was a combination of both for him. It really was. Like Tom Brady in 2019. Like there's a difference there. Like he didn't suck because he sucked. He sucked because everybody else sucked. Like that receiving core was absolutely dreadful. So you see differences. So they're trying to retool that, which I give them respect for. This organization is very well respected and deserves the respect that they get. So they got Sammy Watkins. They drafted a wide receiver. They're trying to show some type of identity there in the receiving core. And their rookie from last year, his name escapes me. I'm sure gonna get more playing time also. So we'll see. I know he's another fast guy. The one I think I was questioning was they lost Matt Judon, who was a decent edge defender for them. How are they going to replace that? From what I'm hearing, what you hear a few minutes after this, you're going to hear some things about that from our Ravens fans. So, we'll see. Track for success. So, no matter what, this team will always be primed the way they're built to win 10+ games.
Yes.
No matter what. It doesn't matter if people know the scheme or not. It doesn't matter. In the regular season, you're always going to play teams that are less talented than you. And the way that they run their scheme, you need talent to beat them. So they're always going to win double-digit games. It's always going to happen. It is what it is. Like they're going to be most likely sweeping Cincinnati. They're going to split most likely with the other teams in the division. They're going to beat up on like teams like the Jets. They're going to beat up on teams like the Raiders because the Raiders won't even have time to get on the field because they're just going to run on them all day. Mm-hmm. Like there's always going to be teams they're going to beat up on, spank. So they're always going to win 10 games. Now, no one ever gives a rat's ass about what they do in the regular season. They only care about January. You finally won your first playoff game last year, albeit ugly, but you did it. That's what matters. So, are these receiving weapons going to be stable enough for us to see if Lamar has an accurate passing game?
I say no. Yeah. I say no. No, I don't. It's not going to be much of a difference anyway. I don't see any of the moves they made a receiver to that literally moves the needle for them and makes Lamar's going to be. It's always going to be a run first two. He's going to ruin his legs first. That's always how he's been. But I don't. This Sammy Watkins, I'm not gonna be honest. He's okay.
I don't understand. Like okay. I'm almost mean enough to say why he's in the league. Like he's like, not good.
He doesn't bring. He doesn't scare defenders. He doesn't scare defenders. They're like, okay, fine, whatever. Like it doesn't. And Hollywood Brown is a joke. Come on, let's be honest. He sucks. And it's like Rashad Bateman, obviously he's gonna get a lot of playing time this year, being the first round pick, but he wasn't that good in college anyway, especially playing in the Big Ten. Wasn't really that good in anyway, but he's pretty decent. But you could have got him for much less than you got him for.
But he's just decent.
Yeah,
and that's the problem.
It's not good enough. It's not moving the needles at all. So, like I said, and if he turns out to be really good, maybe I'm wrong. But I look what I'm seeing right now. It's not gonna make much of a difference. They're still gonna be a running team that's gonna win 10 games. But it's all about can Lamar have to end up throwing the ball. And if you force hit the running lanes with him and make him force to throw the ball, then we got an issue there. And still, you haven't given him a receiver to do that. So
yeah, it's still just Mark Andrews is the best receiver still at this rate. Even so, I'll still give them. There seem to be 12 wins.
Yeah,
they're gonna beat people up. That's what they do. They're the bully team. Weaker teams get obliterated by this Baltimore team. It's happened for a long time now. They'll win their games. It's just it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like he's 30-7 as a starter. But what was the playoff record? What, like 1-3?
1-3.
So that's the one that matters at this point. Since you won MVP, so we don't care about regular season anymore. That award is what jump started everything. Yeah. It's like you won that award, now you are considered to be best of the best. And when you're really not, you know, it's true.
Hence why people get upset when the media hypes him so much, and then when he fails, that there's so much hate towards him. Not because of him as a player. It's just what happens. If you're successful early on, they expect you to be successful going forward. And once you have a drop off, then there's people like us that say, "Yo, what's going on here?" Zeke Elliott, same thing. He got his money, and look at him, garbage, trash. Lamar Jackson won the MVP. There's no excuse. You have to win in the postseason. That's it. Is it fair? Is it fair? Yes, it is fair because they're paying you. They're going to pay you. You're going to be the second highest paid quarterback in the league in another year or so. You will. So yes, if we do the same thing for Mahomes, we're going to do the same thing for you. We'll do the same thing for Josh Allen too. Now Josh Allen got his money, and we're going to hold the higher standard now. Mm-hmm. We're going to hold to a higher standard now. That's how it's always been. That's how it's always going to be. Get over it. Get used to it.
How are you not used to it at this point?
No, I'm saying that. But
it makes no sense.
But people try to make excuses. I'm like, no, you can't make excuses. Don't make excuses. How you gonna say something about one quarterback but not the other? And I know a lot of Lamar Jackson fans will try to defend him. Like, no, he has to get it done. I'm sorry, he has to get it done.
Yeah. And he's not played well in any of these playoff games.
No, he's not.
I'm saying he did not play well against Tennessee. He had that one run, and that's all he did. He did not play well in that game. I said he did not. Buffalo beat his ass.
Tennessee, it was more of Tennessee lost it. Tennessee literally imploded, and it was not Mike Vrabel's best coaching game. It's actually one of his worst. He had 2 of those. We'll talk about him when we get to that episode. But yeah,
the last episode next week.
Next week. Yeah, but other than that, yeah, I'll give him 12 wins.
I lied. Sorry, second to last. My bad.
I'll give him 12 wins.
Yeah, 12. That's a ceiling. That's probably they're gonna hit around 10 to 12. Like that's what they do. They're a bully team. Yeah. But again, they get bullied when it matters, though. We'll see if that trend continues.
This is the Sports Dynasty Podcast. I'm Trevor, and this is Juan. And today we're going to continue our coverage of the guide for 2021. Before we get started, make sure you like, share, subscribe on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play Radio, Stitcher Play Radio, at Podcast Dynasty on Twitter. We're on Facebook and Instagram. Continue to share and join the already growing Sports Dynasty Podcast Facebook group. It's growing. It's hilarious. People love stuff. There's stuff going on in there, man.
And a large part of that's because of him.
And a large part of that is because of our guest, diehard Baltimore Ravens fan, Michael Cratchey. What's up, bro?
Just chilling, bro. Ready for the NFL season. What's good?
Yeah, man. And just to let you know, this is the first and only Orioles fan I've ever met in my life. Seriously, like I've never been an Orioles fan before him. And like, yo, diehard, yeah, diehard, man. I'm telling you, man. Now we made a bet, a little friendly bet during the weekend with the Red Sox and the Orioles, and you know he's a man of his word because I'm not gonna lie to you, like the way the Red Sox been playing, I thought we would probably lose that series, but you know he's a man of his word, man. So that's what's up.
Hey, that's how it has to be. Keep it true to whatever.
Yeah, man. So, all right, so let's get started with the guys. So we're gonna talk about the Ravens offseason, their draft, and your expectations to where you believe they should be, their ceiling, whatever. all that other stuff, right?
Whatever.
You know what I mean. But other than that, let's get started.
Let's think. Where are we gonna start with? Let's go with the offensive line. Let's start with the offensive line because you had your sudden retirement the following season with Marshall Yanda, right? Then I will go as far as to say your star left tackle wound up getting hurt during 2020 season, and your center was a disaster to say the least in 2020. So what do you think you took enough steps this offseason to retool the offensive line and become as good as it was 2019 and before?
To be honest, what I've seen so far in the first preseason game, I like it, but I have to see more and more over the season because I can't just go off one game seeing how they did.
Gotcha. All right. Especially when the game doesn't really matter much. This preseason thing kills me. It really does. So you have a positive outlook on it, right?
Yes.
So, yeah. So go ahead.
I have a positive outlook, but I also have to look and see if the players will actually step up to the game when they need to.
Gotcha. Do you remember who we playing first? I don't remember your week 1 game.
The Raiders.
The Raiders? Nah, that's not.
Yeah, I'm Monday Night Football.
That's another bye week. You good? That's not gonna test their offensive line. Who the hell they have in the pass rush? Spoilers from when we destroy them later in the guide. So that doesn't help. So you got another bye week. And I know how y'all probably the biggest bully team I've ever seen because when you play someone that's inferior to y'all beat them up by 50. I don't know why y'all do that, but they do. It's true.
They want to spread their dominance, of course.
Yeah, the biggest bully team I've ever seen was this Baltimore team. I don't know what's up, but anyway, so that doesn't help. So that I guess we'll see what the offensive line. How about your receiving core? Because that's probably your weakest set in your team. I will go with receiving core. So you drafted Rashawn Bateman, right? Marquise Brown ain't looking so hot. You signed Sammy Watkins, right? And if I'm not mistaken, Bateman's hurt, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. So are you afraid of having to repeat what you had to go through last year, your receiving core?
Not really, because I think Sammy Watkins will bring a few games good to us. Mm-hmm. I think Batman will actually help up, and I think Hollywood coming into another season will actually be more progressive and learn more on the offseason than he did. Okay.
That's a big positive outlook because that was a problem. It really was. We will know from our team. Them, we were worse than you guys. So we know how it feels to have nobody catching the football. So it's pretty rough for Lamar. So let's get to Lamar. So MVP 2019, right? You waited to that Patriot game in 2019 to unleash the full throttle that is Lamar's run game, right? Typical. Then 2020, it kind of felt like I got away from that a little bit. Is it safe to say that? Because you started to throw a little bit more than you probably should have. And do you first of all, do you think that? And if you do, why do you think that is?
I think he learned to put more throwing into it because people keep calling him a running back and stuff. And I think he's trying to prove to them that he has more of an arm and shit. And I think people just hate on him because he plays the game differently, to be honest with you.
Okay. But then it was a slight down year, we would say. At least compared to 2019. Because 2019, he was best playing football. So 2020, it wasn't looking so hot. And then the playoffs, it kind of showed that a little bit. So do you have any rebuttal towards that?
I think, and I'm honestly going to be really, really bold with this, I think Baltimore and Lamar proved that they can get to the AFC Championship this year.
I'm not saying that. Say that. Okay.
I'm not saying we'll win it, but I believe Lamar can get us there.
No problem. All right. How do I phrase this? So, I don't want to say do you have any proof, but is there any games or anything you've seen in the last 2 years that shows you that he has the capabilities of actually becoming that accurate passer that's needed to get it as far as you want you guys to go?
I'm going to put it to week 1 when 2019 season when he played a tough Dolphins defense and he came out throwing lights out and threw 5 touchdowns. And then let's go to when we played Monday Night Football against the Rams tough passing defense with Jalen Ramsey. But he did the same thing, threw 5 touchdowns.
Okay.
He didn't run 5 touchdowns. No, he threw 5 touchdowns and went against defenses well, proven to cover the pass at that time period.
Okay, not bad, not bad. He went to the not bad for a running back game. Not bad for the running back game against the Dolphins. Not bad. All right. So let's go about your draft. Do you like your draft? Is there any picks you thought that were good?
Honestly, Rashad Bateman was probably the pick that I actually chose I wanted, so I'm really happy about that because I love how in college ball he played muscle and bully ball. That's what I wanted from that's what I wanted from a receiver.
Not bad. I like it. You're the draft guy, so
yeah. He's from Minnesota in our division, in our conference. So yeah,
you're Iowa guy.
Yeah, pretty tough over there. But yeah, what is your in your point of view of the state of the AFC North? The Cleveland Browns are now becoming the Cleveland Browns of old, back before we were all born. You know, they're actually competitive now. They're legit Super Bowl contenders. As the media say, what they've done, they're legit Super Bowl contenders. Joe Burrow's coming back from catastrophic injury, but and then the Pittsburgh Steelers are the Pittsburgh Steelers. I can't stand those guys, but that's neither here nor there. But what is your take on the state of the AFC North?
My state is I'm gonna go and be realistic, but in a funny way. The Cincinnati Garfields, they're nobodies to me. They don't have an offensive line. Let's be real with you. They're not going to get anywhere when they don't have no offensive line. They have a few weapons for Joe Burrow. I'll give them that, but they're not going to go anywhere. Pittsburgh Steelers is on the downcline. They got that women toucher of a quarterback who can't do nothing right. But let's be real. If Big Ben was supposed to do anything good, why did he go 11-0 just to be one and done to the Cleveland Browns in the playoffs? If you go 11-0 to be one and done in the playoffs, you're not really any team to me to worry about. Now, the Browns, I'm going to give it to the Browns. They actually have receiver core. They have a defense. They got running backs who can put up big numbers. Baker Mayfield, he's a great quarterback, but I think Lamar's is a bit better than him.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna sleep on Baker any day. Baker can put up those numbers that you need. And Cleveland is a team that can pull shockers in the AFC North, just like Baltimore can.
With now that Odell is back, because they were talking about before last season they were trying to trade Odell away, but now that he's back, how do you think he fits with this Cleveland Brown team with the success they had last season? How do you feel that they're able to gel together?
I think Odell's been more mature, talking with Landry, and he's learning how to be more of a teammate now instead of being the selfish player he was on the offseason. I think he's going to make the offensive core for the Browns a little bit better and be more of a threat down the way.
Okay. Well, that's a great answer. I agree, actually.
Great answer.
Actually, because he was a selfish guy. Almost said a bad word there.
All
right. There's something I want to ask. Damn it, I forgot. That Garfield thing is still killing me.
The track for success?
Yeah, so yeah, because we didn't talk about their defense yet, which is, I will go as far as say their strong suit. Their defense has been top since, at the very least, 2018. So how do you feel about that? You lost Judon, right? So do you have anybody in the roster that can take over Matthew Judon's spot in his role? Because he was your edge rusher, basically. So you have anybody who can take over that role?
I know preseason doesn't mean much, but so far I've seen a Patrick Queen do in his first preseason game, coming out, inserting that defensive tackles for loss and jumping on the recovered fumble. I've seen more of a young Jordan Matthew in him when he did his first preseason. Okay. But I want to see more of that come the regular season instead of just preseason, because that's going to prove the big jump for us.
Okay. And your defensive secondary, I'm sure you're very, very, very confident in your defensive secondary with Peters and with Humphrey and company, right? So where do you think your secondary is ranked amongst the NFL?
I'd give us top 10, probably maybe 5 at best right now.
Okay.
I still have Rams and Pittsburgh over us and the Niners defense, because I still respect their defenses and how they're built.
Gotcha. No problem.
Okay. Not counting your divisional games, is there a game on your schedule coming up that you look forward to the most that stands out to you? It could be 1 or 2, but not counting your divisional games, because we know you can't stand any of those teams in your division.
I'm actually going to be one that me and you made a bet on, Green Bay at Baltimore. And then I actually have one that I really, really want is the Vikings at Baltimore as well.
Vikings? Why, if I may ask? That's interesting.
Me and Marquise deal with a lot of Viking fans who talk crazy. So I'm just waiting for Baltimore to land that 50-point beatdown like you say we do. There's non-contender teams on that team.
Am I lying though? Yeah, I do. I do. It's true. They do. All right. So, what do you think is your ceiling? Not prediction. Where do you think is the highest spot your team has the capabilities of going?
Highest spot would be probably 13-4.
Okay. Like 13. Okay. 13. So, what do you think you're actually going to get?
My prediction is we go 11-6.
I think that was my prediction for you too.
That's
a lot of fans and I are in sync. Yeah. I think I had you 11. I don't think 12. I think 11. I'm thinking. I don't remember what I wrote. I think it was 11 too. Because when you're gonna play more worse teams than you're playing good, and y'all beat the hell out of the whack ones. So it's like you're good. Those are like 7 wins right there you're getting, and then you're gonna beat. Your team is very good in the regular season. So Lamar and the company, they're always 10 games. Yeah. Easily.
As long as Jim Harbaugh's there, you guarantee at least 10 games, at least.
They're one of them teams. You know what I mean? They're always going to be in the picture. Yeah, so this was easy. The team is good. What else can we say? All right. I think I don't have any more questions. Yeah, I don't have any more questions.
I think we're done here, man. Brother, man, I appreciate you.
There's anything you want to say? You want to go freelance if you want?
Yeah. This is just spot to go ahead and say what you want to say about
anything literally.
You want to say, actually, I forgot. Yeah, go ahead.
This is one thing I want to say for all the Bengal fans out there who think y'all gonna be special. I'll be realistic as a Ravens fan. Until you guys get an offensive line, Joe Burrow's gonna be no threat to any AFC North team. You are probably the biggest clown team ever to be in the AFC North. You go 0-2 in the Super Bowl, and your fan base hasn't won a game since phone texting has been around for the playoffs. What do you expect me to do when you guys talk about what you want to accomplish when you don't have nothing to look back forward to? Tell me, Bengal fans. You can ask Marquise for my inbox, and I'll wait for that.
I'm glad I let this happen. Yeah. All right. So we're done now.
All right, we're good now. Yo, Crabtree, I appreciate you for the interview, man. We're gonna talk about this later, and whenever, like I said, he's a avid fan of the podcast and for the group.
I was saying, and more importantly, an avid poster of the group. Yes, he is a massive supporter.
Yes, absolutely, man.
We thank you very much.
Yeah, so we'll talk to you later. We're definitely gonna have you back on the show very, very soon because, man,
basically anything that happens to Baltimore, you'll be on the show.
Yeah, definitely. Man.
Basically,
yes,
so.
And you're all right. So we'll talk to you soon, right, brother?
All right, boss.
All right.
Wait, there you go. I can see it. Yeah. Pittsburgh.
The Pittsburgh Steelers finished the season at 12-4, but
in the most underwhelming way you can imagine.
Yes, possible. They were 11-0. And then having to lose 4 of their last 5 games to end the season, including losing 11-0 to the Washington football team. Even though, granted, they had COVID really messed up their schedule really badly. We'll give them credit. We'll give them that. COVID was not nice to this Pittsburgh Steelers team, but they ended up losing to Washington. But then they happened to lose 2 straight games to Cleveland Browns back-to-back weeks, and they lost in the divisional round to the Cleveland Browns. That was their Super Bowl. That was their Super Bowl. And
them as in Cleveland.
Yeah, in Cleveland, yeah. And Pittsburgh looked like, wow, this is come far enough. Ben Roethlisberger looked worse as the weeks went on, and he was god-awful. The score in that game didn't tell the whole story. They were losing 28-0 in the first quarter. They were getting destroyed. But, the Cleveland defense was so bad, they were able to come back slightly. But the score doesn't tell the whole story. But
it's similar to that Cleveland and Tennessee game. Cleveland put up 30 and not even a half.
Yeah.
And it looked closer than it was. No, it wasn't.
It wasn't. So they got their asses split.
Yeah, it did. And, yeah. Offensively, they were 12th, 15 in passing, 32nd in rushing. That's something that needs to be looked at. They were dead last in rushing. If only Roethlisberger had that, maybe we would not thrown 65 times again. Defense, they were third overall. They were third in passing and rushing. They had a couple injuries, and then when offense starts to suck the way they did, then kind of hard to maintain defensive excellence because to me they were the best defense in the NFL, not Los Angeles, but whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Key additions: they are added Kellen Balaj, Joe Haig, I think his name right. Try Turner, B.J. Finley, Arthur Mowlett, and Miles Kilbrew,
and Melvin Ingram.
Yes.
That was like a week and a half ago. Yeah.
Which they absolutely needed.
Yes, they definitely did.
Key departures included James Conner, Vance McDonald, Alejandro Villanueva, David DeCastro, Matt Fear, Marcus Pouncey, retired, Bud Dupree, Avery Williamson, Steven Nelson, Mike Hilton, and Sean Davis. Here comes their draft. They selected 24th overall, Najee Harris, the running back from Alabama, Pat Freiermuth, the tight end from Penn State. I don't know. Kendrick Green, the center from Illinois. Dan Moore, the offensive tackle from Texas A&M. Buddy Johnson, the linebacker from Texas A&M. Isaiah Loudermilk, the defensive end from Wisconsin. Quincy Roche, the defensive end from Miami, the U. Trey Norwood, the safety from Oklahoma. And Presley Harvin, the punter from Georgia Tech. I gave this draft a D. Now, normally, I would have gave them an F if for the Najee Harris pick if they didn't need a running back badly. So I give them a pass for that one. So normally, I'm completely against people drafting running backs in the first round. I think it's not sustainable. I think it's bad. I don't like it at all. But I give them a pass for this because they needed running back help badly. Couldn't run the ball. They dead last in rushing last year, so they needed help. Obviously, Isaiah Loudermilk, the defensive end from Wisconsin, is trash. He's terrible. Like the fact that he got drafted is beyond me. He's terrible. They did add a little bit of holes. They got Pat Freiermuth, the tight end from Penn State, because they needed tight end help because Vance McDonald was gone and they needed tight end help as well anyway.
And he Brown Sox.
Yeah, and so overall, especially for him, they could have got him much later in the draft. I think they reached for him as well. I think so. They have to make way with what they have, especially with this aging roster and everybody's turnover. So I give them a D for the draft.
Okay. Yeah, this line, dude, like, wow. It exploded. Like, they lost so many people. But even but the thing is why I don't blame them for it is because they weren't good anyway. That was the biggest reason why their running game was negative. It was because that line could not get any push ever. And James Conner is not the type of back that will make things happen. He's one of those backs that needs the offensive line to push in order to do it, and they weren't pushing, so that's why he looked like garbage. So,
I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah, so that's what happened.
It just proves a friend of ours' point. One of our Steelers guys you're going to hear from. Prove his point that why they miss Le'Veon Bell so much. They thought that when Le'Veon Bell left, James Conner will be, and we did see some good from him the first year when Le'Veon was gone there.
And what was the difference?
The
offensive line was still good.
But then realized that this is not going to work. It was terrible, and obviously he got paid somewhere else because they think he's good enough. But to me it was like okay, you didn't really see the real James Conner, But with a good offensive line, yeah, great. If not, then he's average at best. And they were bad. That running game was terrible. Like, really, really non-existent, literally.
Yeah. The defense lost some depth, but they still have their key guys. So the defense should still be good no matter what. It's just that there's hope that no one gets hurt like last time. At least they get Melvin Ingram, who's already better than both three will ever be. So at least they actually upgraded and an extra edge defender. So that's good. But the whole front seven should be fine as long as no one really gets hurt. They got Stewart healthy. They got Cameron Hayward who had a great year. You have TJ Watt, who arguably should have been Defensive Player of the Year. Now they got Melvin Ingram. That front is absolutely lethal. Absolutely lethal. They're going to get Devin Bush back. in that linebacking core. So they got their speed back in the linebacker. So that's really good. I'm saying Joe Hayden somehow is still good because he's pretty old. I'm impressed with him. He's still good. Minka Fitzpatrick is still doing his thing back there. So their defense is intact. They just don't have as much depth as what they had before. So as long as they stay healthy, they'll be one of the best defenses again. So that has nothing to worry about. That's why you don't even hear nothing about Steelers defense when you look at garbage media or you come to us or come to other independent podcasters. You're not hearing nothing about the defense because they're gonna be good. Offense, it's all about offense. We need to see if Roethlisberger is not too old to play anymore. We have to see if that line can somehow find something decent. At least run block. At least do that. If you may not be able to pass block, okay, but at least run block. But the difference is that him not being able to pass block is bad now because their quarterback is like almost 40. So it's kind of hard. It's kind of bad for that. Roethlisberger cannot move like he was able to do 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. So this line really is a massive issue. However, their receiving core is the same as last year. Even though for some reason they will use James Washington, I don't know why. But Claypool should be better. If Deontay Johnson's fine hands, then he'll be fine. And Juju stood for a year. So they have the receiving core there. They should be fine. It's just that line and the quarterback questions is how it is. Najee Harris, God bless you, dude. I hope you succeed because I don't know how you can succeed with this line. Good luck. Good luck. But the biggest acquisition actually that we didn't say because we never do that, they had an offensive coordinator. What was the other name? Randy Fitchner? I think that was the last one. Steelers fans wanted his head on a pike. So now they got someone different. There should be better plays called. There should be more. There shouldn't be, screenplay, check down, screenplay, check down, over and over. Because that was the Steelers' offense. It's pathetic. It was absolutely dreadful to watch. So they fixed that because I guess he believed in pass first to set up the run.
Makes sense.
Did it make sense?
No, I'm saying it makes sense why he did that, but
it didn't work.
It cost him his job.
It didn't work. So I don't know if it makes sense.
So now he was a scapegoat. He was a scapegoat last year because of how bad they played. Someone had to pay. And like I said, Mike Tomlin's not going anywhere. Come on. There are people talking about Mike Tomlin should be fired. Ridiculous. The offense was terrible. Now you have a new mind there, and now you can just at least build from there. But now for Roethlisberger's question, that's one thing I understand. Is he done? If he looks worse last year, I think it's time to hang it up. You're a first ballot Hall of Famer, two-time Super Bowl champion, man. You literally have nothing else to prove, bro.
Is he first ballot Hall of Famer?
No, I'm just saying he's a Hall of Famer.
He's definitely a Hall of Famer. He's the best quarterback in his history.
You
yes.
know what? I'm glad you mentioned that because you know what? I think Ryan Allen talked about that Tuesday. First ballot seems to be very loosely used.
It is. That's what I'm saying.
It is. So when I say first ballot, I'm like, listen, he won 2 Super Bowls. He's
that was a hell of a long time ago.
Yeah, I know, but he's. like, I'm pretty sure he has broken all the Steelers records. More than likely,
that's why he's the best Steelers quarterback ever.
So I guess they probably give him.
But Eli Manning's also the best Giants quarterback ever too. So what the hell does that mean?
True, that's true. But this was decide. Listen, it's time for you to hang it up or not. I think you should have hung it up 2 years ago. But
I agree. Yeah, I think you should have hung it up.
And then also
either after 18 or after 19 when he got hurt, you should have ended up. I agree.
But also, I think was also one thing we're overlooking as well. Dwayne Haskins.
Oh, the backup. Okay.
Dwayne Haskins. You signed him. I think to me it was a blessing in disguise that Washington let him go because I do believe Dwayne Haskins can play. I do he can play.
I think he got hassled over there. Yeah, I think they put him in the work. Yeah. When he got drafted, he wasn't the coach. Was he the coach? Yeah, he was the coach. He was the coach. He didn't want him. It was dumbass. What's his face? The owner.
Dan Snyder.
Yeah, his dumbass is the one that drafted him, even though Ron Rivera didn't want him.
Yeah, so
that's like a Vince Young situation. What happened with Vince Young
in Tennessee? Yeah.
And why am I have no names today?
That was Jeff Fisher.
Thank you. Jeff Fisher did not want Vince Young at all, but the owner said, "F off. I want him in my team," and that's why Vince Young was set up for failure to the beginning. Even though I don't think he was that good anyway, but he was set up to fail from the beginning because his coach didn't believe him in the first place. So Dwayne Haskins has the same issue. Ron didn't even want him in the first place, so now that's why he got shipped out the door, and they never, he never was able to work out. So here He got signed, so he's wanted somehow.
Yes.
So,
and there's a possibility that when he could be maybe he could be the future of this franchise going forward. I still think he can play, but let's be honest, Mason Rudolph is garbage. He's not an NFL QB. I'm sorry. So is Duck Hodges.
He's not even in the team.
He's not in the team, so get him out of there. Mason Rudolph. They say that more than likely he's gonna be the backup, which he should, because Mason Rudolph is trash. But that's gonna be decide who your future then. I think he can play, and I think they may have something here. He's wanted. You know what I'm saying? He can play. He's in a situation where you have a great ownership, the Rooney's.
One of the best franchises in the history of the sport. Mm-hmm.
You have an excellent world class coaching staff. You're playing under this. I think this could work out for him.
And a veteran, if he's paying attention to you. I don't know if he is. He's usually not keen for that, but he might be. And if he is, you're learning from Roethlisberger. So
because Mason Rudolph didn't. He said, forget him. He's not a teacher of nothing.
Yeah, because that's his competition.
Yeah, so. I mean, Roethlisberger will do anyway. He'll do anyway. I don't see why not. But hey, that's what it is.
No, it is what it is. Whatever. But yeah,
we're done.
Yeah, we are done here. Oh, ceiling 10-7 for me. Ceiling.
My ceiling is 9. 9 wins. I think the offense. I think we're gonna see. I think the offense it will probably let them down last year. I just think that the personnel they have there is just not going to be enough. I think the offensive line is really bad. It's going to be very difficult for them to run the ball. And Ben Roethlisberger, his arm is finished.
Maybe I don't know that.
We've seen it. We've seen it. I'm like, for me, I think he's finished.
Because there's too many. That's why I put 10 as their ceiling. Because there's too many question marks on that offensive side of the ball. I know defense is going to ball out.
Yeah.
But offense, there's too many question marks for me to be confidently say they're going to be win 11 or 12 or repeat as the AFC North champions. I don't know. There's too many questions.
But
everybody else in the division, even including Cincinnati, but the other two, I know what they are. And I know what they're going to do. And I know they're solidified. Even Cleveland, even though we don't know either, but that roster's too good to not win games.
It's too good. They're too stacked,
that's what I'm saying. So Steelers have too many questions for me to be confident to say. So that's why their ceiling to me is 10. We'll see.
My ceiling for them is 9.
That makes a lot of sense.
But we're done. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play Radio, Stitcher Play Radio, at Pockets Dynasty on Twitter. We're on Facebook and Instagram. Check out the Facebook group. Be a part of the conversation. Is live in there. Also, our continuing coverage for the NFL Guide to 2021 will continue next week.
The last week. And then after that, 2 more weeks until the regular season starts. And I know we're ready for that. I can't wait.
Yeah, man.
That being said, peace, love.